I hope this is working very well. If YouTube, you don't have sound, I just forgive me. But I think it's got sound, very good sound. Let me hear the sound on YouTube. It's right there now on. I can see it. Beautiful. Oh, it's working. It's working. Excellent. The sound is there. Let me just now introduce the program. If, Grace is with me in the Zoom studio, and we're going to be discussing lots of good points. And I want to say that those people who are focusing on Zambia, like myself, because of this period, very soon we'll go back to our normal program series, but let's look and work with Zambia first of all. Every Zambian is a millionaire, can never be more truer than today. Okay, and I'm showing the Facebook audience and the YouTube audience. Every Zambian is a millionaire, part 1 and part 2 can never be truer today than it's been the other years. This was published, these books were published in 2010. 2010. I only changed the cover for the part 1 because one of my mentors told me that the picture which was there did not make me look like a millionaire. And I had to listen to my mentor, and I changed very quickly. And I think that picture looks real good. But part 2, they said it looks cute still. Because it's a picture of my wife in there. You know that. Excellent. Go and get this book on Amazon. And if you're in Warsaw, pass by our college shop. It's looking fabulous. We only started operating last week on Saturday, and already it's getting busier and busier by the day. Thank you so much for those people who passed by, and I saw about 4, 5, 6 Zambians passing by this week. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Keep the wind moving. We are moving forward. Fantastic. Let me welcome Grace. For those people on YouTube, you won't be able to see Grace's face. Oh, for those people on Facebook, you won't be able to see Grace's face. How are you? My dear sister, is that, yeah. You won't be able to see her face, but you hear her voice. For those on YouTube, you see her face, and other guests who might join us. Excellent. We are so very much excited about what's happening in Zambia, that precious African country, many other African countries. Why we quite precious now is because they have again changed government nicely and smoothly. Now today, they opened the parliament, and His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema sent a very good, very good message to the country of Zambia and to Africa at large. There's something to learn from one another. Now today, we are continuing on the theme, what are you going to do as a Zambian? What are you going to do as a foreigner who wants to work with Zambia? What are you going to do as an investor? What is there for every single one of us to support the vision and develop that nation of Africa, Zambia? Okay, Grace, welcome. Say hello to the audience.
Thank you, Doc. Hello, everyone. Hi, viewers. Those on Facebook, Zoom, or YouTube, you are welcome to the program. My name is Grace Stulo. I am a nurse by profession. I live and work in the UK. I'm also an entrepreneur and an investor. Thank you, Doc.
Excellent. We have a team of investors. All you people on the ground in Africa, you are equally investors. None of us is not an investor. All of us are investors. We invest in different things at different times, believe me or not. But now we want us to climb to the next level of investment, where we can see our nations in Africa and our nations in the diaspora, because wherever you are a nation, and you must contribute positively to that country where you are. You must be a productive person. Now, coming back now to Zambia. Zambia is a nation that has changed government nicely and smoothly, and there's joy amongst many people because it is awesome when such a tradition comes. Now, let's go to the speech that was given today in Parliament by His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema. One of the areas I picked up was entrepreneurship. There's many areas he talked about. I don't want to go and break down all those ones, and I want to focus on my area of interest, your area of interest. On the platform of Amakaya Wingu, we are entrepreneurs, and we want to zero in on the entrepreneurship things. The biggest question is, what are you going to do? I heard they want to support, promote waters, the Luapula, and that it means fishing, fisheries, and I like that. Let me zero in a little bit on that one. I think there was one book I was writing, which I haven't finished, or I was doing a teaching, where I said, trying to find out what you are good at is not very difficult. And I think it was in one of the books, Every Zambian is a Millionaire, The Righteous Desire of My Father. How do I find out what I'm supposed to be doing in this life, economically and otherwise? It is what you hear your fathers used to say or say. Because your fathers, they carry a fiber of what I can say, a natural calling in your family line. This is why I want to talk about the Wapula people. My mother used to say, because we I won't say it. In this modern world, you can be quoted and quoted until you can be unquoted no more. I would say, in Wapula, there's plenty of water and a skill for fishing. That skill for fishing is a powerful economic force. You understand that? Let us not run away from things which are predominant. And they also mentioned agriculture. Agriculture is diverse. There's crops, there's animal husbandry, and so forth. And if you look at the Zambian people in Zambia, the people in southern province, they are very good at animal husbandry. So I've got two places now here: northern in the Wapula fisheries, southern animal husbandry. These are enduring skills that if you focus on them and you follow it nicely, I guarantee you do very well. Because we are going back to the land in a very nice way, where we become proper entrepreneurs who value the natural resources, value our nature, value our inborn skills, where if we just add on a little bit, we can just explode. Let's just talk about our Asian families. We used to say, and we normally say, they're very good at corner shops. They identified a skill that works very well, and these are cash cows. They don't depart from it. I've taught in the United Kingdom, and I've taught across the board, from the Caucasians, the African, Caribbean, the Asians, and the Chinese, etc. I'm well-rounded. When you're in education, you meet different cultures. And I found that each of these cultures, there are some things they are very good at. And the agents told me, sir, these shops, you know, they are cash cows. They bring money. Money is always coming in. You wonder why someone is highly educated, they still hold business, because they understand business makes things move. Money makes things move. Now let's go back to the Zambian platform. What will you be doing? And I want Grace to come in on this, on what should the people be doing now in Zambia? Grace, come in
there. Thank you, Doctor. I listened to the speech of the president, which was very good and very encouraging. And you can see all aspects of investment was included. There was inclusion from agriculture to technology to everything. And since I am in the industry of hello, are you getting me?
Yes, you disappeared a little bit. Repeat.
Hello?
You went a bit mute. You have gone mute.
Oh, okay. I say for me, since I am in manufacturing industry.
That's right.
Mostly I'm doing building supplies, building products. For me, I see a chance of improving. I see a chance of going forward. And he also touched on female entrepreneurs. He said we should encourage female entrepreneurs. So I don't want to be left behind in that. I already have something set on the ground. It's just organizing myself, put full energy and full force. And I know with infrastructure coming up, rebuilding our country, we have a huge potential in construction and also in agriculture. I'm from a background of agriculture, so there I have no problem. I liked it when he said we should diversify in agriculture.
Yes.
Because at the moment, it's just, people are just doing it like in a traditional way. Just concentrating on maize. No, we should look at other things also, which can be a source of income to the country, to ourselves, because there'll be a lot of exporting of agricultural produce, and which also will lead to a lot of employment to people.
That's right.
And the other sector I looked at it is manufacturing. He said we need to set up plants in most of the country. Throughout the country, there should be some manufacturing plants set up, which will bring a lot of employment to our youth, a lot of employment to our graduates, and in return, we'll have a lot of income being retained in the country, and we'll have less import and a lot of exports. Yeah, thank you, Doctor.
Thank you so much. And Zambians and friends of Zambia, it's a call to reposition yourself. When the policymakers, leaders bring an enabling environment, once you cheer down, yeah, well done, the next move is for you to reposition yourself so that in that enabling environment, your business can function. And one area, just following up on the Grace, where the president talked about Zambia being a hub that can feed the sub-region of Africa, SADC, or the whole Africa, the breadbasket of Africa. That is actually what I understand Zambia should be. Now, for Zambia to be like that, it's not just in the hands of the government alone. It's in the hands of you, the entrepreneur. I'm very positive that if you now engage in these sectors which were mentioned, support will be there. The change of mindset, which His Excellency talked about, and I loved it. I've heard it before, but let's implement it in this phase, where he said, we are not a landlocked country. The word lock is probably very negative in the many years that the moment you hear lock, you see in your head a padlock, and your thinking stops. You say, we are landlocked. Actually, we are very positive, repositioned, land linked. If we have, how many countries do we have around us? Is it 8?
8. Yeah.
8 countries. As an entrepreneur, I see markets. And I don't have to cross an ocean to go and reach them. I can take my bicycle in 24 hours or 48 hours or a week, I'll reach that country without difficulties. But if there's an ocean, I need a boat, maybe a ship, Ichombo. We are privileged. We can make Malawi our market, Tanzania our market, DRC Congo our market, Namibia our market, Angola our market, Zimbabwe our market, Mozambique our market, and Botswana our market. I think I've passed my civics. I've mentioned all of them 8. We share the border. We do business, proper business. Like Zambia now will be producers. Exporting will be very easy. Now, ordinary Zambian can export to a neighboring country on the back of a truck. You don't need an aeroplane. You may not need an aeroplane. We won't need a ship. That's a big advantage. Agricultural produce, I know some of it is regulated, especially maize. If it's in excess, how easy is that to export? And diversification of agriculture, the Grace you talked about, we mainly focus on maize. Let's look at the other part of animal husbandry. There was a time on the former government, the minister went to Congo and just to go and see how supermarkets are run. And they found the goat meat was purchased at $25 per kg in the affluent areas of DRC Congo. And for those who are in the goat industry or producing goats, or that's animal husbandry, that can be a very lucrative business. And I think we should begin to look at animal husbandry more and more as well, because the regions in where we are as a country, Zambia, we can actually feed them easily. We have got a stable environment politically, a viable environment economically, because our land is arable. And one area we have to start looking at now is educating the entrepreneur at a higher level. We have a scholarship in the Western Open where we educate entrepreneurs. And I think we'll take advantage to make more noise on this one so that we can support more and more for those who come from Zambia because of this window that has opened up even to the next level. Now, let me ask you a question. When you heard women empowerment, what specific things would you tell women, Zambian women, and women who want to do this in Zambia? What should they be doing now, Grace?
You are freezing a bit.
All of us are freezing.
Doctor, come again?
Even yourself. Is it winter in England today? It's hot. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Talking about women, what should they be doing then to reposition themselves and participate in this development of Zambia economically?
What came to my mind is that, you know, there are a lot of women out there who are in business, but most of them would find challenges. They were not having a lot of support. But now, since it has been made clear from the head of state, there will be a provision for women so that whenever they tender their businesses, at least they'll be picked up and they'll be encouraged to even expand. No. Because it was very hard, you know, to compete with men.
Here's a question. Do you think that will be done on merit or simply because it's a woman who has bought a business?
No, not just a woman who has a business. A woman who has a business will just have to present her business, but still more, it has to be done on merit.
What do you think should be
done? And those
done?
you can see there is a potential, they have to be encouraged to expand on their businesses and go forward.
One of the areas I've heard a lot is, I think you also touched on that the other week, access to loans, access to developing funds for business has been very hard to get. Now, I've got another twist on that one. Before I ask that question, because you're a lady that has done very well and still doing very well with your partner Charity in Zambia in the construction area. If a woman comes with a viable business and they've also been in business for some time, but they lack banking skills. Number one, all the money they've been making, they are putting it in the house. There's no banking record. Even though the business is viable, all the profits, they are only accountable on the paper and in the cash they collect and put in the house, which is quite common, quite common in many African countries. This I know because I've been in business for myself for a long time and doing business conferences. I find that banking has been very, 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 very poor. Many people don't put money in their account. Let's look at this woman who now comes. He has heard the presentation of His Excellency. It's looking good. Then they say, I want a loan. What help do you think we should be giving that woman? No bank,
For me, I would say the bank, when they are giving out loans, they shouldn't, like here, the way we do credit score, checking up what has been in your account for the last 6 months or so. But if a person is interviewed and they are able to see what that person was doing with the money, because there are some people, their business, you are running a business, and then you are building a house. So whatever little profit they get, they put it aside to build the house, to build themselves a shelter before they even, now the house is finished, maybe they've moved in that house. Now she's thinking of expanding her business now because an opportunity has risen. So you have to look at that individual in a different perspective. You don't just put everybody in one basket. And then when you look at them now, you come in with your terms and conditions to suit them or which they can suit to.
Okay, I hear you. So you think the lending institution, hello, Stephen Sonda, good to see you.
Thank you so much, sir. How are you?
I'm perfect. The system is back on today. Well done.
Thank you.
We are discussing unpacking the manifesto in the first day of Parliament. His Excellency talked about the areas that he wants to focus on to bring about economic recovery and growth in Zambia. He touched on women. He touched on entrepreneurship. He touched on diversifying the economy, agriculture, and so many other areas. So we are just unpacking on how to support women. My question I posed was, a woman comes up with a viable business, but they have no banking history. Their banking is in their house. They never have proper records the bank can track because they want a loan, but the bank would ask you for your bank statement. They want to see how you do. And then you find that you've got no bank account. You never had in the past 15 years. But your business is viable. Your only accountability you have is your paperwork and the cash you put in the house, which in itself, traditionally, a business shouldn't run like that. But now these people have got a viable business. Should the bank be lending based on the same principles as everybody else? Grace said they should look at other things, like maybe they built a house. How do you think?
Yeah, concerning what you have asked, like there are some people, like those who don't have, like, what you mean is those who don't have bank accounts, not so?
Correct.
Yes, now how those people can be assisted? They don't even have any access to banks, and they need some money to start up their business, like those entrepreneurs.
Yes.
Yes, there are some little organization like other women's do, whereby they are saving money of which can help them to do whatever business they want to do. On that one, it can also assist them in doing so.
Okay, that's interesting to know. So, an organization they belong to, do they save money together? What do they do?
Yes, what they usually do. Yes, what they usually do is they are about 5 or 4. They want to start up doing something.
Okay.
They'll try to make an amount of money which they'll be contributing each month. Every month, contributing some money, some certain amount of money, so that they can succeed with the business.
Okay, that's interesting. I think that's the principle of Amakaya Wing. So they are in a team. So that can be a record of how they've been contributing finances, how responsible they are. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Ah, interesting. I like that. I like that. Hello, Ibrahim, she's still joining in on the audio. I like that. Now, another question. Here's a challenge. Sometimes, going back to Grace, I want to find a solution to this. You said they're building. Some things I found about in Africa, quite common to many African countries, is that somebody might be building very well, but actually, although they are building on that land, it is traditional land, which is their heritage. I think every African country, they have some traditional land, which is heritage. There's no record written somewhere, but it's passed on by chiefs. You know that my grandfather, great-grandparents lived here, so you just keep inheriting. And there's no document like a title deed because it's in the chiefdom area. I don't know about Nigeria as well. Our partner from even actually joins or whoever is behind that microphone. So that in itself poses a difficult because these bankers or financiers, they are not traditional rulers. They run traditional businesses which believe in evidence of a title deed. So, oh, that's your house you built. At least they can value that and bank it against their money. Now, in the case of an African country, let's take Zambia, we discussed in this point. Somebody comes, they say, I've got a house. They say, wow, it's your house. Give us your paper. Then you say, no, this land was my father's. Now I'm the one inherited it. Go and ask the chief. In business terms, how do we go around that? Is that Evelyn?
Yes, sir. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Good to see you on the program, Evelyn.
Thank you, sir.
We are actually discussing your topic. Evelyn is a candidate on the Locomotive University studying a master's diaspora remittances. I think this is a good topic for Evelyn. So now we are talking about supporting women in business. We are trying to unpack what's happened in the country called Zambia, where they changed governments. And today they opened parliament and they're talking about rebuilding the economy. And one of the areas they're looking at as well, supporting women in business. Now, last week, I think the other week, we began talking about the role of the diaspora, how they can influence the people on the ground in Africa. And that's where a topic comes in, Evelyn, on remittances. Maybe that can be a solution. Now, before we come to that one, how do we deal with somebody who has been building on a traditional land? No paperwork, but the structure is there. The bank comes in, they want to lend you $10,000 for business. Then they say, give us your collateral. I say, yes, I've got collateral. Come and see it. They come and visit, they see the house. Give us the paper. Title is, you've got nothing. Let's brainstorm this one and let's find a solution. Back to Grace, then Evelyn.
No, I think on that one, Doctor, the banks don't accept the traditional inheritance. It has to be a document.
Okay.
A document in your name issued by the council or the Ministry of Lands. So when it comes to inheritance, traditional inheritance, that one won't be accepted at the bank. So if you are looking for a loan, unless you go with I think there are some other group financiers who do small loans for starters, the startup loans. I'm
Okay, even come on that one.
Sure, they should. Stephen, are you in Zambia at the moment?
You're muted. You're muted, Stephen.
Hello? Yes, I'm in Zambia. And that one
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
sure
like to
there's more.
contribute. Yes, there are small organizations.
Yeah, go on.
Yes, there are some small organization which lends money, like some of these organization which lends money to those people who might need to start up a business.
You are very popular.
They will try. What they usually do is you can go with them at the same place. It's either in the house or some of the properties which you have, of which some of these properties has just been inherited. So that one they will try to capture those properties. And if they capture those same pictures, then there is some agreement which they usually do for you to get a loan.
Even
but do they accept traditional land?
Yeah, for traditional land.
Do they accept any structure built on a
on that
land?
Land, what they usually do is they have to talk to it's either what is this? The headman. That same person who needs to get a loan, you need to talk to the headman, and the headman will direct those people if that property has just been inherited without having papers. That's when they can do that.
But you see, let's hear from Evelyn. Evelyn, how does this happen there in Nigeria?
Hello, like in Nigeria here, when you want to collect a loan, like if the land is inherited, it's not accepted without documents, except it's a land that is purchased and has a document or C of O to present in the bank. That is when they can give loan with such property. Hello?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we are listening.
Okay. So that is when they can give loan, but when it is inherited, it's not acceptable over here because there's no paper tying such property.
So now let me be a defender of banks for just for a bit. So maybe some of the issues we hear that, oh no, banks are refusing loans. They are not necessarily because the business is not viable.
Okay.
Probably it's a lack of documentation by the borrower. Think about this. When a bank says they've got $10,000 to lend to small businesses, this money they are bringing to you is not the bank's money.
No.
Banks don't have money.
No, they don't.
It is other people's money.
Yes.
Are you following? So when I, as a depositor, get a salary from my business or my company pays me, it goes in the account. They know how to do miracles in that 24 hours with that money.
Yeah.
So there's hundreds of us or millions of us banking. So that's the same money they use to lend. They've got their own ratio of calculations. Now, when they come to you and they want to lend you, they want to make sure that should anything go wrong, that money should be recovered.
Yeah.
So let's critically think about those things. Now, from my position as a business coach and investor, is to encourage people to learn banking. In our communities, all entrepreneurs, no matter how small or big your business, start with a bank account, open it. Because the bank account tells you or the financier your journey, how healthy your business is, how you yourself manage finances. I don't know if it's in this program or the other program we looked at. I think I was talking to somebody who came to the building. I was saying the way banks look at a business when you go to ask for finance is how healthy your business is can be seen. Today, for example, you get a deposit of £15,000 because you've sold. or 15,000 kwacha because you've sold, or 20 naira because of 2 million naira because you've sold. How long does that money stay in the account before it is expended? And also, where is that money going? Because each time, especially nowadays with cards, each time you swipe, it tells the banker that this money has gone to a restaurant, to McDonald's or Hungry Lion. Now, if the trend is such that your business spends money in things which are not related to your business, there is a problem of credibility. The lender will be worried. This one, how come their money always goes to, they know this company, Holiday Inn or Vita Hotel, or you go into a company such that it shows leisure. There's a problem. So that's why bank statement is very important. Let's go back to collateral. And this, we need to find a solution to this from today, all of us in our African countries. Sometimes we are afraid of registering the assets. Because some of these traditional lands, you can actually now apply for a title deed. In Nigeria, you call it seal of oath. You can apply that your traditional land is titled. The advantage of that is that now it comes under your name as an asset.
Yes.
If you want to progress in business, that's a good evidence. Now we're going to come back to that. Let's now bring in what can a diaspora now play as a role where the bank locally has failed to lend this viable woman. What can a person in the diaspora or a group of people in the diaspora do in order to help? Let's start with this one with Evelyn.
Okay. The people in the diaspora, they bring their collective money. Hello? They bring their collective money to their various countries to assist the people or their communities. Hello? Hello?
Keep talking, we're listening, keep talking.
Okay. They bring their monies from diaspora to assist their communities to help in the development sectors. Because like in Africa, it's like a case study like in Nigeria, the challenges that most of them have is getting the loan from the bank. But in that case where the bank, they hardly give such loan. So the diaspora come with their money to the country and invest. And that gives the opportunity for the local and the indigenous to benefit from the investment.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there, I want to hear from, is that Oliver?
Yeah. Hello?
Oliver, are you there? Very good point you've raised
Hello?
here, Evelyn.
Hello?
That's a good point you have raised, Evelyn. I've heard you.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we've heard you,
Hello?
Evelyn.
Hello, can you hear me?
Very well,
Oh.
indeed.
Oh. It's breaking. Hello? Okay.
Okay, let's go to Stephen and Oliver. It's a question of integrity here. If a bank refuses to give this woman the money for certain reasons, why should the diaspora risk the same money in a system where the person won't be able to use it properly? I would like Oliver to come in there. How can we trust you now? You are very far away. Your bank has refused you. Even says people in the diaspora can put money together and give it to you. What should the people in Africa be doing in that case? If you find trusted diaspora members, they give you money in your hands, do your business because you couldn't get a loan. What do you think you should be doing? How should we trust you? Let's hear from you, Stephen and Oliver. Oliver, come in there on that point. What should we, why should we trust you? Unmute yourself, Oliver. Stephen, are you there? You can pick it up. I think Oliver is struggling. Oh,
Hello?
Stephen, yes. Why should we trust you then? Even it says the diaspora can come in and provide that money. Why should we trust you now?
Yeah, hello, yes. What's the question again? I had a network challenge.
Okay, if the bank has refused this woman to lend her money, and she's on the ground in Africa, in Zambia, or she's in Nigeria, then there's people in the diaspora, like Grace and myself and others, we put money together. We say, oh, that business, we are going to invest in it. But what system can you put in place there for us to trust you that our money will come back with the profit?
Yes, on that one, first of all, I'll try to say maybe for you to invest in my business or what I want to do, you need to see what type of business or what type of projects I have for you to trust and see how the outcome of that same project I'm having, or which can give you confidence of lending me money. Since these banks, they have refused to give me money because of some certain challenges. So it might be easy for you to trust me, whereby you have seen the business which I need to do.
But that leaves some gaps. Would you be willing to open a bank account? That's the question. What system can you put in there? Because that's very critical. Now, Grace, would you come in there before Oliver comes in on that point? What have you put in place?
Yeah, what I can do with that person is to tell him that we go into partnership, we form a company, register a company, put all the paperwork in place, and then I put in the money. She does the running of the business with whether it's 50-50 or 40-60, 40-60% of shares within the company, so that I also become the shareholder of the company. Because she has let's say that person is in agriculture, she has the land where we need to plow, where we need to do everything. So I put in the money, and then the yield we share equally, or we do 40-60.
Now, what about checks and balances? Continue, Moses. Stephen.
Yes, I just want to refer to what Madam Grace have said. Like, if you become the shareholder, whereby you know the business is doing that person is either in agriculture or is in livestock. So I'll give an example of livestock. Like you want to start up a business of livestock. You try to look at which business can I start up with, which will give me money first for me to repay that money which I've been given. I might go for pigs. It's a very good business, of which it's just take about 3 months for this to farrow, of which and then the pig rates go very faster than these other animals. So it might be easier for you to start up with that business, of which you might be fast. It gives you fast money.
Okay. Here I'm looking at checks and balances. That's very important. We have to come up with systems that can, mind you, two entities are far apart. One of them is in the diaspora, very far away, and you are the recipient and the one who's running the business. What I'm looking at is checks and balances. What should we put in place? That's very important, because otherwise, if the business is viable, the person that is running the business has access to the fund. You can't control. You're not there. Oliver, you are there. Can you unmute yourself and contribute to that? What should we be doing to trust the system on the ground? Oliver.
Yes, sir. I'm getting you. Considering the fact that every business should have a record, every business should also be transparent, especially in terms when you are partnering, or maybe you have a loan from the bank. Let me just go a bit just to try to make this point be understood. For example, if I speak this, like at one point, that is 2012, 2011, somewhere there, when the bank, Zambia National, Zanaco,
yeah,
they had a project which they embarked on to assist the entrepreneurs. They said that you can access some funds from there, but they even had some workshop which were going on in order to train the people on how a business should be run. And they also explained on the issue of banking system, cash flow, and also how your money enters and how your money goes out. So that's a system that is in place wherever you go. The first thing that the bank looks at is how you use your money. And the term that they use, they say, for example, you are asking for some funds to do business, but if you do not have any idea to run the business, they say, for example, you've been given 1,000 kwacha, and that 1,000 kwacha, you don't know how you are going to split it in business. Then you keep it in the house. So what will happen? You begin to get a 10 kwacha out of that 1,000 till it's depleted, meaning now you do not have a business. Now you have not grown anything. So the important part that you have just spoken, check and balances, it's very important. When you are going into business, you've got also a viable business plan, which will be able to make you grow. So the importance of checks and balances is to have a proper system that we are quite disciplined in running all these businesses. Without discipline, we will never grow. Without discipline in money issues, we will never achieve our goals. So the most important thing is we should also first develop with the discipline in money handling. Then also having the viable project which will be able to bring profits and also to help also out the citizens to have a job on their tables. I think this is what I can contribute, sir.
Okay. We've got only under 6 minutes to be finishing. I think this topic can be continued next week. What I've picked up from all the discussions here, we need and always need to put checks and balances in place, especially if the diaspora has to come into that big leap to put money into a person's business who is on the ground in Africa. And I suppose the vision that we started talking about last year of a diaspora office led by the private sector, which is ourselves, can also help, because that can be a monitoring arm, which will subscribe a fee and they go around counter taking on our business partners. And these will be professionals coming from the legal background and also a business coaching background and other areas who understand different sectors. I'm sure 7 people, 10 people can't all be corrupt and fair. I think Africa can go somewhere better as we see things changing slowly. That's my proposal. Maybe next week we can continue looking at how do we set up such a system and we begin to talk to people on the ground. Once we set up a diaspora office that is private sector led, we can replicate these ones across African countries. I remember I think a year and a half ago, which was last year, we started talking about this one and we wrote a little profile of what we can do and people expressed interest in that. In summary, let's begin to look at systems that can create checks and balances because diaspora interaction and the mainland is very lucrative. The missing link is checks and balances because I know many of you, you've got families on the ground in Africa, and in Africa, you've got families abroad. The missing link is actually checks and balances. Some of the mistakes which are made are not because people want to make them. It's because people do not know, which is why capacity building comes in place. Where I heard from the panel that sessions were brought in by some banks to teach people how to do certain things. Capacity building is essential. And in particular, one problem that I found in the community is where because you have now access to financing, got money, you think your vision should be taken up by anybody in your family or by anybody amongst your friends, simply because you're in that position. I think that one is a wrong approach. It must be mutually agreed. You invest in a viable business. I heard somebody from the platform says the business must be viable. And that's critical, very important. If it's viable, then we can do it together. But in between or around the whole thing, we need to find systems that can help us to check one another. Monitoring, very important. Monitoring, review, recommend, remove some stuff, move forward. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for attending. We are now signing off. I would just like to hear one word from each one of you, how you complete this topic in 40 seconds before we finish. First one to go, let's start with Stephen Musonda. 40 seconds, how you conclude this topic. Unmute yourself very quickly.
Yes, it's quite interesting topic, and I've really enjoyed it, though I joined late due to some network challenge I've been having here in Kasama. Otherwise, the next time I'll be able to find a proper network, which we are going to start together. We have talked about several things, of which we can encourage others to maybe to join us next time when you are going to have this same program. Thank you so much about this.
Thank you. Evelyn? Unmute yourself. Evelyn, how do you conclude? Okay. Oliver, how do you conclude?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are grateful so much, sir. As I always put it, that since the time that...
how do you conclude this topic? Not about me. How do you conclude this topic? Let's focus on the topic.
Yeah. Yes, the topic, how I conclude about it, we are learning and becoming more proactive because of the knowledge being given to us, and we will never be the same again. And we are not going to go the same mistakes which we've made long time ago. I think we are heading towards better things and better doing the better way of doing business. Excellent. Thank you so much, sir.
Excellent. Evelyn, unmute yourself. How do you conclude this session? Okay, Grace, you can pick it up. Evelyn is having challenges. Grace, how do you conclude it?
Yeah. Thank you very much, Doctor. It was, because we're looking at the presidential speech, which was very encouraging. I would like to urge all the entrepreneurs out there excuse me.
Bless you. Bless you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's awesome to be with you on Business Seminar on Friday. Signing off, but still present with you. See you next week, same time. We'll continue unpacking more beautiful ideas to invest in Africa, develop our Africa, and let's look at the case and the story of Zambia, how things are developing. Thank you so much. See you and bye for now. Bye, Facebook.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, Doc.
Bye, YouTube.